Hotep Jesus, we're back. Saw y'all earlier. Back again. My second stream in the day. I'm not used to streaming on YouTube twice in the same day. Something new. But y'all know I bring some beautiful, great, inspiring guests on my channel every Friday at 7 p.m. Today we were able to grab somebody that's very, very active in the community. You know, not like some of these fake activists out here. We got ourselves somebody who does real work. But before we get into that, I am Hotep Jesus. I'm wearing my shirt that says "Shut up and cold." Shut up and cold. What does shut up and cold mean? Shut up and cold mean shut up and work. Get it done. You know, nobody really cares about your feelings. You know, so on and so forth. Um, talk don't cook rice. You know, action is going to make things happen. So we gotta make sure that we put our best foot forward and we're always taking action on things. With that being said, I take action on things. I'm building a portfolio of tech companies. You can find all of those in the description box below. I spoke to a gentleman one time. He said, "Hey, bro, I didn't know we're dealing with tech companies. How come you don't talk about it more?" I'm like, I say it in the beginning of all my streams. So sometimes you find out like people, they might follow you on Twitter, but they don't follow. Also, if you subscribe to my daily newsletter, it's bryansharp.co, BRYANSHARPE.co. Subscribe. Get on my daily newsletter. There's an automated email sequence that introduces you to who I am and tells you everything I'm into and tells you all about me. It tells you how you can connect with me. It tells you how you can work with me. It's all there, you know. So, uh, with that being said, um, there's some tech concerns in Silicon Valley, um, censorship, so on and so forth. I know we saw with Trump. So, I just want to let people know I'm on the job. I'm here to build the new Wakanda. I want to be the next tech giant. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce to y'all brother Shakem Akhet.
Word.
Shakem, what's good, brother?
Man, feeling good, brother. What's going on?
Life is good. Life is good, man. It's been a lot going on in the media. Been a lot going on with conservatism. It's a lot going on with you. You got boots on the ground.
Definitely.
Let's cover it all. First of
Word.
all, let's go straight to the hot topic. What's going on in Minneapolis, man?
Man, Minneapolis, I think what you just actually saw was a buildup of frustration due to years and years and years of neglect in police community relations, right? Um, and a lot of things people have been saying, a lot of topics people have been covering, it all boils down to this at the end of the day. Justice delayed is justice denied. See, we always like to compare it. Well, what about black on black crime? That's one of the most just disgusting things that people pull up. But one thing they got to realize, right? It doesn't. Whenever you have black on black crime, it doesn't take 4 or 5 days for murderers to get taken off the street. They're immediately apprehended. They're taken away, and there is no justice delayed. So therefore, there's no time to have that built up outrage to where it has to be expressed in a manner that a lot of times leads to violence. We don't have to, do so many protests in order to get stories heard. Anytime you're dealing with law enforcement, right, there's an expectation of law enforcement. Law enforcement is given the ability to patrol our communities with guns and saying, hey, you've committed a law. I mean, you've disobeyed the law. We're going to apprehend you. We're going to take whatever measures it is to actually stop and arrest or prosecute or whatever. And when that sort of trust is given to somebody that patrols our neighborhood and can say, hey, stop. As a people, we feel like we are deserved that same trust and transparency whenever something happens against us. We just want to say, listen, as citizens, we have the right to hold an officer accountable the same way officers hold us accountable. Right? That's all the people want. Accountability. And when that accountability disappears and it's only a one-way street, you see people then begin to lash out because they feel powerless. You know, when you look at a video and you see the life being drained out of somebody, like here in North Charleston, we saw Walter Scott getting shot 8 times in the back, running away. When you see these type of things on video, it incites,
It's
pain and anger.
traumatizing. It's
Yeah,
traumatizing.
definitely. And a lot of times, nothing happens and we're like stuck. So it's become like a nightmare that's played over and over and over and over again. And, you know,
Are the looters wrong? Are they bad people?
well, so let me tell you this: the looters are wrong, right? The looters are wrong. I actually led a charge in 2018 after Keith Scott was killed in Charlotte. I have a lot of video. If you go on my Facebook page, you will see me in the middle of riots in Charlotte, North Carolina. We was at the epicenter, and I was all over. I mean, Don Lemon captured me several times. I was the big black dude with the bullhorn. See, what happens is a lot of times, looters come out with bad intentions and they just trying to get something off. So the protesters who are legitimate, sometimes their message gets drowned out. But at the end of the day, you're looking at the effect. You're not looking at the cause. And a lot of times people feel so disrespected, they say, you know what? You disrespected us. We're gonna disrespect you. And I'm gonna tell you like this: there's a narrative that always states that, oh, they're burning down their own neighborhoods. They're burning down. They're not burning down their own neighborhoods. Trust me. A lot of these times they are not burning down their own neighborhood. They are hitting big corporate stores, big corporations. They hitting Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, Targets. They're not going into mom and pop stores and hitting the brother down the street who sells. They're not hitting those people. They're not. You never see black mom and pop stores or black businesses saying, you know what, you might see one here or there, but you're never going to see these people say, you know what, man, my store was looted. They don't, because we have that respect for each other that we will pass by the brother right here, his clothing store. We're going to pass his store and we're going to hit Walmart. We're going to hit Target. So, the thing is, at the end of the day, that's not even the most important piece of the puzzle. We still have to keep our eyes on the prize and understand this. The only reason those people rioted is because justice was delayed. If those officers were apprehended as the next day, as they should have been, or even maybe within 24 hours, you would not have seen riots. The people only rioted due to the frustration and the built up anger from seeing justice delayed and justice denied.
That's real talk. Shout to Chad. Appreciate you, homie. What up? He's been looking forward to this. Chad really enjoys you.
Word, peace,
Um,
Chad.
Peace and love to the brother Shakem. Got to link up with some of my South Carolina peeps to collab. Did that snake come back to get you?
Man, listen, it ain't come back yet. Somebody said it was Candace Owens, though. So I don't know.
Big Daddy Cool, Black Power in his mother. I remember that in 2018.
Well, bingo, he remembered. That's what I was screaming all day in them riots. Yes, sir.
That's love. That's love.
Well, see, you know what? Another thing, right? And what a lot of times people don't understand, right,
Uh-huh.
is that there comes a point in time to where people have to stand up. People don't want to be disrespected. Everybody always says, well, maybe they need to do it another way, right? So when Colin Kaepernick did a silent protest, silent, what did the right do? Oh, they had a fit. Oh my God. Oh man, they took it and they deflected. Oh, he's disrespecting the flag. That man ain't disrespect the flag. Oh, he's disrespecting the country. He didn't disrespect the country. He didn't do none of that. All of that was a false narrative to take away from what he did. A lot of them, see, and a lot of times conservatives like to say we're constitutionalists. So if you're a constitutionalist and you're a conservative, why are you mad because someone is asserting their constitutional right? See, a lot of times constitutional rights only are applicable to a lot of conservatives when it involves a white face. And we got to call hypocrisy. And that's one of the things that I really want to, delve into a little more is calling out the hypocrisy that we see, because we can't continue to have conversations that are neutral and people are trying to, sidestep. We got to confront the issue straight on and talk about it. Matter of fact,
So can we talk about Colin Kaepernick real
okay,
fast?
let's talk about
Now, usually what happens is there comes a point in the middle of my debates where I decide to debate the party that's here
Let's roll.
interviewing, right?
Uh-huh.
And this one popped up kind of early.
Okay.
Now, let me just preface this and say I do agree with what you just said about Colin Kaepernick and how people reacted to him for those reasons, right? Now, I have other reasons why I didn't like what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, he ain't black.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, he hasn't been a voice ever in his life. He waited until he was a bench player to do so. Then he hijacked the narrative and made it about himself. And it's highlighted when he cosplayed as a Black Panther. And then when he had the tryout, he stunted. And then he had the shirt that said Kunta.
Okay.
For me, it looks like Colin Kaepernick saw his relevance falling into the void and latched onto dead black bodies
Mm-hmm.
to regain relevance. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of time that's what people say about us who've been in the penitentiary. They say, you know what? Why'd you wait to become a Muslim when you went to prison? Like, why did you start reading the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad when you went to prison? Why did you embrace Islam when you went to prison? Why did you stop smoking? Why did you do this? Why did you wait until you went to prison in order to do something? See, a lot of times we embrace. A lot of times, hold on. What's up, fam? Oh, come on. A lot of times, it's my big bro right here, man. So
What's up? What's up?
Yo, so a lot of times we embrace another side of us, or we dig deep whenever we're in a situation to where we're down and out. Sometimes you might be in the hole in lockdown, and a brother just give you a Quran and it slide through your door, and you start looking and you say, man, you know what? Man, I should have woke up a long time ago. So I think a lot of us have that turning point in our lives when we're at our lowest, to where we wake up and we say, you know what? Man, this is an opportunity for me to dig deep within myself and soul search and really say, I'm gonna make a whole 180 and I'm gonna do what I need to do. So, in all honesty,
Yeah. So he was down and out.
peace.
It was down and out, falling into relevance. But what about cosplaying as a Black Panther member? That's
Okay.
not a costume for GQ magazine. You get all the kids, you go out in New York City and you cosplay, you puff your hair out. You ain't never wore afro in your life. Now said you want to wear afro and you cosplaying Black Panther Party.
Well, so this is the thing,
That's
right?
not a costume.
So this is the thing. I would rather him take his hair out and wear an afro and exude the image of a Black Panther versus him perming his hair and acting like he's some softy screaming, well, what about black on black crime? Or, we need to like hold hands and sing together, right? So I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm looking at it like, okay, what would I rather have in the face of a lot of children? Would I
Okay.
rather have this brother saying, you know what? Let's talk about knowing your rights. Let's talk about putting together a camp to where we can teach you how to interact with officers, and we're going to teach you constitutional rights. I would rather him say, you know what? Let's embrace our culture and let's make it a fad. Let's wear the dashiki. Let's embrace who we are. I would rather him take on that role than take on a role like Larry Elder. You know what I'm saying?
I can't argue that. I can't argue that. That's a great point. I would definitely take that over,
Right.
some of these other cats out
Right. If
here.
I had to look,
Yep.
if I had to look at Larry Elder and I had to look at Colin Kaepernick and I had to look at my son, I'm gonna tell my son to look at Colin Kaepernick. I ain't gonna tell him to look at Larry Elder.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, I mean, I can't. I just say, man, I appreciate what the brother did. I know there's some, because I felt the same way too at first. I always been a 49ers fan. But it's like a lot of time, even like with LeBron James, he didn't speak out with Tamir Rice. He was really kind of like cool and quiet. And then all of a sudden, as he began to grow and develop, he said, you know what? Man, I ain't scared. And he started speaking out. So I think, and probably you with the same thing. There was probably a point in your life to where, you weren't conscious how you are. You probably hit a stage where you say, you know what? I'm gonna turn it up I'm gonna turn it up a notch.
I
So
was born. I was born Hotep. I was born outspoken, and I was born a rebel. You guys, anybody know? I was born a rebel. I'm not like these other niggas. I'm like you. You know what I'm saying? Like we come from a different stock. You know what I mean? Like we was born. Uh, you know what I think it got a lot to do with
mhm,
how you was raised,
right,
your relationship with your grandma.
right,
Your grandma had certain rules and regulations in the house. You wasn't allowed to go inside the refrigerator. You wasn't allowed to run in and out the house. I think that's what people are missing nowadays, man. They don't have that grounding and discipline and family that old stock had.
right. And another thing, I think this is what we're kind of missing too. And I was just happening to read. I was reading this book before I came on. This is The Falsification of African Consciousness by Dr. Amos Wilson. Dr.
Okay.
Dr. Amos Wilson is one of my favorite authors. One of my favorite books is The Blueprint for Black Power. It's probably like 900 pages, but it talks about how us as Black people, we can build an economic base, a political base, an education base, like how we can basically take our experience here in this country and use it to grow something that's going to be profitable, and our kids can inherit. And that's why, when I look at, and a brother was on Facebook and Twitter, and a lot of them, they talk about, oh man, the Black conservative movement, why we got to be segregationists, and, we're not Black conservatives, we're conservatives. And the brother screaming, how, he wishes the Black conservative movement would be destroyed. And, he's just wishing hell and damnation on the Black conservative movement. However, you got to understand, we embrace Black conservatism because there's a culture that is unique to us that we need to embrace. There's a lesson in our history. See, I look at them and compare. Remember, Skinner had the rat experience, the rat experiment, and every time the rat did something, and then Skinner would feed him, and then he'd do something else, and then he'd feed him. Then if he did something he didn't want to do, he wouldn't feed him. See, that's what's wrong with conservatism now. See, they have been trained to do things to eat. So if you say, what about Black on Black crime? He's going to give you a crumb. You're going to eat. If you say, well, what about, Black fatherlessness? He's going to give you a crumb. So you eat. If you say, let's support Black owned businesses, they're not going to give you a crumb. You don't eat. Then if you say, you know what, let's come together and celebrate our Black experience, you're not going to get a crumb, so you don't eat. So what has happened over the years, a lot of the Black conservatives have been programmed by the master to say certain things in order to eat. They've become conditioned to that particular lifestyle so that they can eat. So they already know what it takes in order to eat. Exactly. So the reason why they don't want to embrace the African consciousness is because they can't eat. You can't get up in your MAGA onesie and make a rap song and talk about the cultural revolution of Black people in America. You're not gonna eat. You're gonna lose all your followers. The only way you keep your followers is if you talk about how Blacks are trained chimpanzees. You speak Candace Owens rhetoric. That's how she eats. They don't want to disband from that particular ideology because that's what feeds them at night. I don't even know how they can go to sleep with themselves. Listen, Jesse Lee Peterson put up a post the other day with white people getting beat up by Black people in nursing homes, and this man had the nerve to say, white people, you need to basically bust back or we're going to lose our country. Brother, what in the come on, man. Listen, and that's how he eats. He's trained. He has now become a trained chimpanzee, in the words of Candace Owens. So we have to understand that our history and our culture is going to determine our success. So when you look at real black conservatives like Robert Smalls, who from South Carolina, he hijacked a Confederate ship, got his freedom, became the first black representative in South Carolina and congressman. He didn't detach himself from his blackness. He used his blackness as a method to understand how he was going to direct his life to get freedom and how he was going to make it from slavery into power. See, they understood back then that we had to get power. It's all about power. But we have forgotten that power is what we really have to accomplish in order for us to be successful. See, Blexit doesn't want power. These people, they don't want power. They want to be able to do a speaking engagement, to speak and get a round of applause. Or
Yo, yo.
say, oh, well, y'all hate on Candace because she's successful. That what success to me is not having to degrade myself and prostitute myself in front of 2 million white people and blast my people. That is not success to me. Success to me is being in control of my destiny, owning and operating my own business, being able to sit in something that's mine and be able to embrace myself and my people. That's why I opened up the community center. Me and my partner, that's a part of success to me. Not having to jump through hoops and please people, knowing that at any time you can lose your base. So they have to actually they it's like they're being utilized by a Pied Piper. The Pied Piper has control of them, so they can't even operate outside of what their base wants. So they're always going to listen. If Candace got on and said, all of my followers, we need to support black-owned businesses, probably 1 million people would unfollow her the next day. If Candace Owens said, followers, please support black-owned businesses because we have some good people in Black America who own businesses, who you're not buying their products because they're cheap or whatever. They have quality products. Let's highlight them and let's support them for a week so that we can help the economic condition in poor communities, because you always talk so much trash about them. If she did that, you would see her followers leave immediately.
Mass exodus.
Mass exodus. Yes. See, so you will never hear Brandon Tatum actually say, you know what? Let's all support a black-owned nonprofit organization in Chicago that actually works with youth trying to combat violence every day. Brandon can't say, okay, Blexit is gonna write a check because you're a nonprofit organization. You'll never hear Brandon say Blexit is going to present a check to this particular black nonprofit organization that's helping children or young men in Chicago get out of prison who want to turn their life around and re-enter society. Brandon can't say that because he has been programmed like that Skinner rat to where he said he knows what he has to say in order to eat.
So wait. Let's back up really fast. At one point, you was Blexit, right?
Yes.
All right. Yes. So Blexit reached out to you. You reached out to them.
Reached out to me. I didn't ask to be in Blexit. Pierre, I love the brother. I ain't taking no shots at him because I think Pierre is one of the hardest working brothers that I ever met, and I would love to work with him again one day. On different terms. You know what I'm saying? Because he right there in the Queen City with my little brother DJ Chuck T, man, representing in the Queen City. I would like to work with the brother one day, you know what I'm saying, on something different. But I didn't come to Blexit. I went basically because the brother said, man, because I've been established before Blexit. I've been running my own stuff forever. So the brother came to me and I was like, you know what? I had to think about it because I was always iffy. But I said, you know what, man? I'm gonna rock with the brother. Let's see what we can do. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I'd be happy because on paper Blexit looks good, but I haven't really never dug in because that was never like my lane. But I'm like, yo, man, that seemed like a good concept. Let's see if we can make music. Nothing to it. But at the end of the day, one thing I never do, bro, as a black man who got respect for himself and my people, and I fly the red, black, and green, I never sell my people out. Like,
Right, right.
like Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, real conservative brothers and sisters who have an understanding of our culture, Brian will never sell myself out for no
So
like.
so they came to you. They said, "Yo, brother, you want to be down with Blexit?" You thought about it. You came back. You said, "Yeah, all right, I'm down. We gang, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Down, we down." And then you decided to leave one day. What
man.
what what
Well,
was the straw that
well,
broke the camel's back?
well, it was a series of things, right? So
Okay.
basically, man, my breaking point really where I knew I had to separate is, when Candace came out of Twitter jail, man, and she was just screaming left and right, oh, he's a BS jogger, and da da da. No condolences to the family. You know what I'm saying? No statement of, of trying to really have some sort of reconciliation. See, a leader, I teach conflict resolution. I created a program, and a lot of brothers, come in now to help. So I mean, it was my idea, but of course, you can't do anything alone. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't do it alone. It was just my idea in the beginning. So we sat down and we put together a conflict resolution program. So I'm in the schools teaching people how to resolve conflict, how we can come together, how we can settle petty disputes. But I can't be in a situation under somebody who doesn't understand how to resolve conflict. I'm a teacher, bro. I see the stuff she doing and popping off and I used to do that back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But you never get anything done like that. So I believe later on, I think she'll grow and develop as she matures and she starts to understand that, you know what, I got to be more of a bridge builder. You know what I'm saying? I can't run. I work with Democrats, Republicans. I work with so many people in my area to make things happen. I can't just say, "Oh, all Democrats are evil," and I can't say all Republicans evil. See, you can't do that. You point things out, but at the end of the day, you got to understand how to operate, how to move, and to help better your community. See,
Yeah.
they don't have no solutions, family. Like,
So you've established yourself in your area. You've been doing activism. How long have you been doing activism in your area?
man, I got out of prison. Well, I got out the halfway house 2009. I came home kind of 2010. So ever since then, man, I've
So
been
so so what kind of, so you got a computer lab set up? What have you? What's the infrastructure like you got set up?
Man, it's beautiful, man. I got a computer lab. That's where we do the GED classes. I got the after school program. It definitely was African centered, because the area we in, we wanted our children to be able to embrace who they were, their history. We wanted to teach them that, you don't have to be a drug dealer, dope dealer, hustler, gangbanger. We teach them the true history that's going to bring out, something that is going to be productive so they can give back to the community once they achieve. We
Right,
wanted them to the same way how they go in school and learn European history. We just wanted to replicate that and insert African
right.
history and studies
So
in it.
you basically, so you have a learning center.
Oh, most definite. And I got a
Okay.
food bank. We got a food bank. Me and my
You
partner
got
Lewis. So we run the food bank. We do that. I got a diaper bank where the young ladies come in, man, and they get the diapers and wipes and all kind of stuff. We run that, and we got the dress for success program. The young brothers, men and women who come out of the penitentiary. I like to work with the halfway house here because that's where I came out when I got released from federal prison. We come and we get them brand new clothes, new shirts. We got the computer lab. So if one of them guys need to come and use the computer, like they can come straight to the center. I know the director. Hey, man, the guy want to come down here. They come down here. They do learn the resume writing. And a lot of times I just wanted to create a safe space because when they get out of prison, it's a lot of things that you got to overcome and a lot of obstacles. Sometimes you need to talk to somebody who's successful
mm,
and they're going to actually give you that fire and desire to keep moving.
mm,
Brothers got to catch the bus. Brother got to catch the bus. I shoot him $1 or two. Come on, catch the bus.
yeah.
So we
So
want to.
you got the lab, you got the food bank, you got the diaper bank, you got the Dress for Success program.
Yep.
Now, with all of that said, and you coming under the umbrella of Blexit, did they ever get a chance to fund, or how did they support these initiatives?
They
They
don't.
claim that
They don't. They don't.
wait. They claim that they have a South Carolina branch, right?
That was
That
me.
was
That the work that was done, that was me. That was me. When you see the work South Carolina did, when you see the pictures, you see me. That was my community center. Now I allowed them to attach themselves because
right.
I'm a
So all right. So Blexit, attaches themselves to what you're doing. Um, so I know this is a well-funded organization. How much did they get a chance to send you grant money or in donations or?
they don't Candace don't fund Blexit. Blexit is ran by Pierre Wilson. Candace don't run Blexit. And I'm just being real. You know what I'm saying? Candace Owens don't run Blexit. That's Pierre Wilson. I hate to say it. I don't want to drop the bomb on the brother. You know what I'm saying? He's a hard worker and the dude. I respect him to the fullest. Of course, we don't see eye
What
to
does
eye.
that mean? What does that mean? He runs Blexit.
He do all the work. He do the work. He do the work. Candace and Brandon come down and give the speeches. Pierre's on the ground organizing day and night, hustling, trying to make moves. The brother deserves all. Candace don't touch nothing with Blexit, with the state chapters and all that. Candace don't talk to nobody. She ain't nowhere around. She don't promote them on her Twitter page. She ain't gonna tell nobody to join. She can't show me one post where she basically, now she might do it after this get out, and then they'd be like, "Oh, you know what? Shakem just blasted you." So yeah, now I hope I put some fire under her. And if they watching Brandon, whoever, bro, you need to help Blexit on the ground, bro. Candace, you need to help them. Like you got the state chapters out there. They they out there trying to recruit people. All you got to do is put up on your Twitter page, "Hey, join these chapters of Blexit." You gonna have all them followers out there, but she ain't doing that. Like, come on, man, help them people. You know what I'm saying? Now it's gonna be hard to do some work in the black community because everybody gonna be like, "Man, we ain't messing with y'all." But at the end of the day, bro, my organization, I'm gonna help my people
Right.
on the ground. If they represent what my organization, bro, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna fund you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's me. I want to see my vision grow. But if you just want your platform just to be social media, then that's all it's gonna be. Man, Candace don't help them none. Brandon don't help them none. Man, them boy don't help them.
They don't. They didn't. You got the food bank program. You got the diaper program. Dress for Success. They ain't send a check.
Well,
Uh,
no. I mean, no, I didn't even really. I don't really need one, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a well-oiled machine. But at the end of the day, you know, I cut checks to other nonprofit organizations. See, I get a lot. And the key, and I always tell people this: the key to success is you supporting other people. When you support other people, they're gonna support you. See, the reason why I get a lot of love and support is because I support other people. So if I see like my homeboy called me the other day, say, "Yo, man, we want to do a graduation, a cookout." Okay, here go a check. What you need? There you go. Somebody come, "Hey man, we want to do a basketball tournament. Man, let's call Shakem." There you need. There you go. You know what I'm saying? I plug people in. If somebody come to me with an idea and it's legit, bro, I'm gonna write the check. And if I don't write the check, then I'm gonna turn them on to somebody I know. Write them a check. You know what I'm saying? That's how people give you respect in return. You know what I'm saying? But Brandon and Candace, that's why I said, bro, Candace can't show me one black organization that she talk about crime, black on black crime in Chicago, bro. She don't put her money where her mouth is. If I'm upset about black on black crime in Chicago, then I'm gonna make a change with black on black crime in Chicago, and I'm gonna go support and cut a check to somebody that's in Chicago that's doing the work. Brandon, he get up here and he run his mouth about he's God fearing and a Christian and all that, which the brother might be. But at the end of the day, bro, your money, you not putting your money where your mouth is. Like you ain't putting your money where, if you ain't putting your money where your mouth is, you ain't genuine. That's why I see these things and I like, you know what, that ain't real.
Shout out to DJ's raw uncut truth. Appreciate you, homie. He said peace and love to the Hotep Nation. Shakem, what's up? Shakem, what's up? He said, shout out to the HOTEPS. I love y'all. Stay safe and healthy. Freedom of death. So let me ask you this next question, right? You really, I love that analogy from the Skinner rat experiment, right?
Yeah.
So we know that exists for right leaning people. Um, surely that exists for the
Oh
the
yeah.
left leaning people too, right? What are the so what is the if you wanted to have one of these, liberals? What is when in the experiment do you feed a liberal? When in the experiment do you not feed them? Are the rules the same as for conservatives?
Yeah, so the rules are the same, right? The rules are the same. You can apply it to any given circumstance. So Candace is just a black version of Jesse Jackson on a different scale. See, Jesse Jackson knows that he's got to play the race card to live too. But
Yeah.
what he does is he's gonna put the political smackdown on somebody. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna boycott it. We're gonna put something out here. Give me a little, you give me a little change. You know what I'm saying? Then we might could work with you. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little change, and so I'm not gonna do this press conference. I ain't gonna blast you out. So they know how to manipulate the system and play the game so that they can get that little crumb. Now you get that crumb. All right, let's call off the protest. Call up. Let's back down. Let's back down. Let's call off the protest. So they do stuff like that so that they can. And it's all about the race card. If you look at it, Candace will say the race card, race card, race card, and the first thing she do, well, black, 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 and then she try to blame somebody for playing the race card, and everything that she says is anti-black. Then you got somebody like Jesse Jackson or Al. All they do all day is, a white boy can say, "Man, I drive a white Lexus with an all-white T-shirt and white tank top and white socks," and they're gonna say he racist. You know what I'm saying? It's just the race. Listen, the biggest scam right now that's happening in the conservative movement. If you want to get if you want to get some money, put on a MAGA hat and start talking about black on black crime. You will instantly get paid, bro. That is the new scam. And the white conservatives, they don't see how they getting scammed, bro. They getting scammed. Listen, go on Larry Elder page and all day long, all he does is talk about black on black crime and black fatherlessness. And dude gets paid. That's all. If black fatherlessness, black on black crime, that's it. Every time the brother can say the same thing over and over again like a broken record. He don't even got to change his tune. So he just getting paid just from talking about black on black crime in Chicago.
Same talking points.
That's it. What they're doing is they're manipulating the white conservatives to actually play their game and to get paid. That's what they manipulate. It's mind manipulation, bro. It's strategy. It's the art of seduction. All they probably did is listen. There's no way Candace Owens goes from 1 year. She's like, you know what? Nah, man. Systemic racism exists. We fed up. I understand.
Anti-Trump.
And then all of a sudden, you turn around and blink, boom, oh, it disappeared. Candace, tell me when systemic racism disappeared from within the 4 years that you changed from a Democrat to a conservative. Where
she had a Blexit.
Yeah.
She had a walkaway moment.
Right. So even if you walk away, that don't mean that the system done the racism didn't walk away. You walked away. Racism, the systemic, the ratio between crack cocaine and cocaine in the prison system still exists. It's 50-1. It's still there. You still got all type of redlining that goes on. That still exists. Like all of this stuff still exists. That didn't go nowhere just because you left. That didn't go nowhere. So my point is, how all of a sudden did you just change your ideology that fast to one day you fight and next day it's gone? It's the money, bro. It's the money. It's the money, bro. Listen, I done been in the streets too long. I know how people game and game people and manipulate people. Bro, I done seen it too much. From selling crack.
You in the hood.
I'm in the hood.
Right? So Is the hood voting for Trump this year? Or are they voting for Biden? Or are they not voting?
Okay, so the hood probably gonna sit this one out, right? The hood gonna sit this one out, and I'm gonna tell you why the hood gonna sit this one out. See, even though I might say, you know what, I think Trump is better than Biden, but at the end of the day, man, Trump doesn't have Trump is too he's too, I would say, arrogant. Like he gets too arrogant. Like the way, like just look at the statement he did last night. Now he got to go back on Twitter and backtrack. See, he doesn't have, I don't think he got those solid people around him who will be like, man, listen, man, shut up, sit down. You know, he need one of them solid people. Like you got solid brothers, I got solid brothers around. If I do something, they're gonna say, man, listen, man, come on, man, let's walk outside, man. You gotta chill. You know what I'm saying? And Trump gotta remember, right? He lost the popular vote by 3 million people. 3 million now. It wasn't like he got some huge victory where he can, beat his chest, bro. You got beat by 3 million votes. So you hanging on with a string. So everything that he says has to be calculated. Bro, he just had Biden in a big old gaffe with "you're not black." He could have rolled that wave, but guess what? He just lost momentum because now these thugs and we gonna shoot this and that. Boom. All the momentum you had done gone. I guarantee you they ain't gonna sell no more "you ain't black" shirts after that last thing that Trump did. They ain't gonna sell no more shirts. Maybe a handful. So Trump, the hood gonna sit this one out. I understand why. And they don't like Biden because Biden's record isn't good neither. You know what I'm saying? So the hood probably gonna sit it out. Like I said, right now, I would take Trump. You know what I'm saying? But I don't blame nobody who say they gonna sit it out. I definitely ain't gonna, But at the end of the day, bro, when we start talking about and this is one of my favorite brothers right here, man. I was reading this too, man. Stokely Carmichael. You know what I'm saying? Stokely Carmichael a lot of time talked about, black economics, you know what I'm saying, and black politics. We should be able to survive no matter who's in office. Political strategy is only one piece of the puzzle. That shouldn't be our whole, we shouldn't put all of our eggs in one basket. So politics is only one vehicle to get where we need. And with politics, you have economics because politics without economics is style without substance. See, politics runs, the public sector is backed by the private sector. That's why
say that again. What politics is what style? Say that style line.
Okay, so politics without economics is style without substance.
Say that one more time.
Politics without economics is style without substance.
One more time.
Politics without economics is like style with no substance.
Bars.
Yeah, that's how it is. Because if politicians, they appease their finances. So and I see it all the time. If I'm running for U.S. Senate, I'm going to make laws that are going to favor the people who've donated to my campaign. I have to keep them in my pocket. So the thing is, with a lot of Trump supporters, they're cheerleaders. And with Biden supporters, they're cheerleaders. With a lot of people, whether they're black or they're cheerleaders. So instead of saying MAGA, MAGA, and doing MAGA songs, and everybody want to do the MAGA dance, and dudes want to make MAGA music, and but what policy are you taking to Donald Trump? See, dude, everybody will start having, man, Trump retweeted my post. Oh, Trump retweeted me. Okay, so what does that have to do with changing our condition as far as black people in America? How did Trump, if Trump retweeted one of my posts right now, bro, they ain't gonna make me, okay, dude retweeted me, so what? like, how did I, see, like I said, during the Reconstruction era, our black politicians understood that the ultimate goal was the acquisition of power. We've lost that sight. We're not thinking about the acquisition of power. That's the only way that this is going to benefit us. Turning Point USA is not invested in giving blacks power or helping blacks get power in our communities. Blexit is not concerned about helping blacks achieve power in their communities. They're not. You can't tell me they are. So what's happening is that all they're doing is minimizing our role, utilizing our face, and saying, you know what, we have a couple of black friends. But what does that have to do with helping the education system in the schools? It has nothing to do with it. What does it have to do with helping black businesses grow and develop in economically depressed areas? They're not doing nothing for that. There's no agenda. And when you say, okay, we want a black agenda, the first thing they're going to do is say, oh, there's no such thing. Everybody, we're all colorblind. Not, well, I don't see color. You know what I'm saying? The only time they see color is when it's black on black crime. That's it. The only time they see color is when it's black on black crime. Other than that,
or when it's time to say you're a black conservative.
oh yeah, they want to see that destroyed. Yeah, they want to see that destroyed. So see, my whole thing is, right. Conservatism is about protecting our communities. 2A all day. Second Amendment, protecting our community, protecting our women, protecting our family. See, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black Wall Street wouldn't have been destroyed if we had our own system of protection. That's what we got to do. Second Amendment, if that's patrolling our communities, then we need to patrol our communities. We need to make sure that our families, our women are protected, our children. That's conservatism, being able to conserve the family makeup. And we do that through responsible gun ownership. When you look at other things like economic development, we want to make sure, capitalism is good, but it also has to have checks and balances. We all know that, because you can't just let in any. It has to be a mixture, right? You can't just let it run wild, and you got people doing all kind of crazy stuff. But entrepreneurship is definitely something that's going to help conserve the makeup of our communities. So when you start looking at conservative values, they've actually changed it to mean you have to throw away or discard your history in order to accept some neutralized, whitewashed version of history that's not correct. So they're adding things in and giving it an illusion of inclusion, and they're not allowing us to express who we really are as a people. That's why it's going to be hard. That's why Blexit will never be accepted in the black community at large, because you can't join Blexit and say, hey, y'all, let's read The Falsification of African Consciousness by Amos Wilson. You can't say, okay, let's have a reading day. Well, let's talk about Stokely Carmichael. Let's talk about Huey P. Newton. Let's talk about Bobby Seale. Let's talk about H. Rap Brown. Let's have these discussions, right? See, but you could talk about George Washington, Benjamin Franklin. See, you could talk about their heroes. And even white people should be able to sit down and say, let's have a discussion about Stokely Carmichael. Let's have a discussion about H. Rap Brown. Let's have a discussion, about blacks who have taken their time to form organizations.
But
go ahead.
but Shakem, this young lady in the chat, she said, why is it always about your skin color? Why is everything got to be so black? Why is it always about your skin color? Why everything got to be black power this, black power that, black this, black that?
Okay, so this is the thing. That's why it's important for us to understand the falsification of African consciousness. See, when you embrace yourself, you embrace the positive. See, we're not looking at the positive side of embracing being black. It's positive. Our culture is beautiful. You don't hear the Chinese people saying, well, why do we want to talk about being Chinese? They embrace their culture. They wear their cultural dress. They speak their native language. Even with the Mexicans, they wear the Mexican flags, and they hang out, and they wear the sombreros, and they have fun. If we're true about who we are, we should applaud people for embracing their culture, and we should admire that. It's beautiful. See, when you start looking at the world as a pot of gumbo, it's beautiful. I love to see the African experience. I love to see the traditional dance. I love to hear the beat of the drums. I love it because it resonates with my soul because I'm an African man. I'm of African descent. It's beautiful. The Constitution, we talk about how it embraces, different cultures and different religions, but you're not a constitutionalist if I can't embrace being black. The Constitution should give me the right to be black and still live in this country. So if you're saying, well, why does it always have, why is it? No, it's our culture that we have to embrace. But what's happened is the reason why we are asked that question and nobody else is asked that question is because they are fearful. They've always feared. That's why we were kept as slaves. They've always feared that if we ever got back in power, we'd do the same thing to them that they did to us. But that's not true. That's not true. When Dylan Roof went into the church in Charleston, they didn't kill him. They prayed with him. They had prayer with him. And after he killed him, the family said, we forgive you. I wouldn't have did it. But as a people, we've always been a loving people and a caring people. When the colonizer came to Africa, we didn't kill him and run him out, which now looking back, we should have did it. But we didn't. We embraced them. We taught them our culture. We loved them. Even during slavery, when the white women, they picked black nannies to raise their children. We didn't just go kill the kids and say, let's get off the plantation. No, we raised the children and we kept the house clean. Our people have always been a loving and caring people. That's the nature of black people. Because that's our heart. That's our name. That's what we embrace, our culture. But the problem is, a lot of times subliminally, they fear that if we ever got to a point to where we got power, we're going to turn into a Mussolini. We're going to turn into a Joseph Stalin. We're going to turn into an Adolf Hitler and say, you know what? Payback time. That's where the fear comes in at. But history shows that hasn't happened like that. Embrace your blackness. Nothing wrong with that. If they don't accept you for embracing your blackness, then they're the ones that need to go because they're the ones who raise us. So that's my point on that there.
Shout to Brody McFarland. Appreciate you. Said much love for the solid brother Shakem. Hotep, everybody. Hotep, Brody.
Hotep.
Chat said power being a bad word is Orwellian. Opposite of power is powerlessness. Build your own power, empower people who can build with you. Indeed, indeed.
I was reading in Dr. Amos Wilson's book. He said that power is the ability to define reality. The ability to define what your reality is and the ability to put it into action. Yeah, that's power. I can define my own reality and then I can put it into action and manifest it. That's power. So the thing is, how are you defining your reality in your day-to-day walk of life? How are you defining your culture? How do we define our culture? Do we define it as a dynamic to where people are working together and supporting each other and building businesses? Or do we define our reality as black on black crime, fatherlessness? That's not our culture. So what we're doing is we're allowing white supremacists in blackface to define our culture. That's why they're so mad that we're saying, you know what, black conservatism has to change. They're scared and they're fearful because they know that we want power. We want legislation. We want to be legislators. We want to write documents. We want to put things into place to where we write laws. They're scared of that. So what they're doing is they're putting up a Candace Owens who isn't even concerned about writing legislation. They put up a Brandon Tatum who doesn't talk about ways how we can empower the communities. They don't talk about that. So they use them to say, you know what? Keep those blacks in checks right there. We're talking about Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, conservatism. They're using them to keep us in check.
So let's play a game.
Okay.
We're about to wind down here on the hour. And I want to play a game real fast and see where we go with this. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I wave my magic wand and I make $1 million appear. And this $1 million is for the black community. Now you can use this money whatever way you see fit. 20 cities, 10 cities, one city, one town, one child. What do? Somebody hands you $1 million and they say, hey, you have your own organization. What's the name of your organization?
Asafo Community Development Association.
So they send that organization $1 million. They say you could do anything for the black community, what you want. What would you do?
I'm gonna build a school. Education is the key to success. They can as much as they want to, as much as somebody tries to stop us, you can't stop somebody who's educated. They can't stop you. So that'd be the first thing I do. I go open up independent schools. Therefore, I can control the curriculum. I control what's being taught. I can control what type of disciplinary measures we take. I can control, the day-to-day activities of, how long the school day is, how much we pay the teachers. I would open up an independent school so we can teach our people how to be farmers, how to grow our own food, how to start our own businesses. That's what I do. Off top.
Learning institution. I was playing with this idea earlier. We think about the Stadium Barclays, right?
Mm-hmm.
In New York, in Brooklyn. Imagine if a building the size of a stadium was a 24-hour community center. Could you imagine? Now imagine that. Now we know that all these stadiums are built in majority. A lot of them were built in poor neighborhoods, right? New Orleans, all across the nation, right? Imagine if these places were community centers in their downtime. Like one of my followers brought that. It says, what if while these things were or downtime, there were community centers for the community? I think that children need places to go, and I love your idea of the school.
Yeah.
No, I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. That'll be the first thing I go after. I mean, just imagine being able, and what my goal starting this year coming in the fall is I got a young brother, man. He's actually a STEM teacher. So he had like a little class that he had set up where he was teaching the kids how to make electric bikes. You know what I'm saying? So the kids, they brought in their old bikes. You know what I'm saying? He went, paid his money, man, bought the motors. We kind of, gave him some donations. And it was like 10 kids. They turned all the bikes into electrical bikes. Just doing things like that, because what he was telling me, he said, that type of thing brings out a lot of the creative, it's problem solving. And what we lack a lot of time, especially in black schools, is the ability to problem solve. We might, it's a difference between learning, saying, okay, 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 3, 3 + 3 is 4. You might get that part of it, but when you say, okay, when you put it in a word problem and you're asked to solve this problem, you freeze up.
Mm-hmm.
Or, teaching them about trapping solar energy and making solar panels. So, I mean, the brother, man, is real sharp, man. If I had him on here with me one day, man, he'd blow your mind. But brother's real sharp, man. And he said, this is what black children need to be learning. Because you could teach a person all day, trigonometry and geometry and all of that. But when you get out of school, you're not going to use it. So he's like, yo, that's why you need STEM classes and trade classes to teach people how to problem solve and to get a trade. So I would definitely, the school I did open, I mean, it'll be definitely trade centered.
I like that. How can people find you and get in contact with you?
Man, so my Facebook page, man, I got to step my game up, man, and get a real website. But I do run a site called the South Carolina Herald. I just haven't been messing with it for a while, man, because I've been doing a lot of community work. But find me on Facebook, Shakem Akhet. Definitely find me. I just started a Twitter page, man, Shakem Akhet. I think I got like 250 followers, man. I done hit the jackpot. You know what I'm saying? But I just started it, man. I just got on Twitter. I don't really know too much about it, man, but it's cranking up. Also, our Facebook page, my community center is called the Community Resource Center, North Charleston. Community Resource Center, North Charleston, man. We do a lot of work, especially with the youth, and it's wonderful. I mean, we do all type of things, man. So I appreciate you for having me on too, family.
Yeah, already, man. No, I heard you speak. We were on a Black Conservative conference, a couple of weeks ago, and uh, at first I saw the name. Excuse me. I saw the name Shakem Akhet, and I immediately saw the comedic relevance there.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, this brother Hotep."
And you know what? If you go on my Facebook page, my name has always been Shakem Akhet. The
Oh,
reason why
wow.
I took out the Hotep is somebody reported my name a long time ago, and Facebook was like, I needed to
You
send
gotta have
in.
your real name or something.
Yeah,
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 yeah. So
the
I had to
ID.
send him my stuff, and it was Shakem Akhet. So, I added the Hotep, of course, because of the ancient Kemetic dynasties. You know what I'm saying? The Hotep dynasty. So I added that in, but they made me take it out. But that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I saw you was Hotep, and I was like, and then he started talking. I'm like, yeah, nah, this the real deal conservatism y'all got to get
Word,
behind, man.
word.
If they don't look like Shakem, they ain't making no stain out here. They ain't really doing nothing. They ain't helping nobody. They ain't moving nothing.
No, man. No. That's why, man, like I said, man, we gotta read books like The Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. That and I think as we begin to get black people to understand that a lot of our ideals are conservative. But we gotta weed out. And I talk to a lot of my partners, man. They be like, man, I don't know how you rock with a lot of them. And to be honest, I don't even fault nobody for not saying they're conservative. To be honest, with a lot of the people on the right, like, bro, you got some of the most racist, I mean, outright, downright, stone cold. I mean, see, the liberal, you got to kind of like you got to kind of see through them a little bit. You got to kind of do a little, peek in, and you know, you got to kind of, they're a little more, they're a little more slick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you got to kind of,
feel it out.
yeah, you got to kind of feel them out a little, man. But the Republican, oh, you gonna know they don't like you. Oh, you gonna know they, no. No. See, the liberal ain't gonna be no like, what about black on black crime? They'll just be like, well, I don't think we should really let's talk about something else. You know what I'm saying? They're, they're not gonna be so outright with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's really kind of like a child,
Which one do you prefer?
man. And almost the one you can see. Because at the end of the day, the one I can see, boy, I know I don't got you. Let me get rid of you now. So really,
Yeah.
the one you can see is the best one, because you don't have to do too much. They. Like the lady at the park, right? It almost appeared that she was a Democrat, because she was like, one of the things that kind of hurt. She was like, she had like the scheme already down. I'm going to call in and I'm going to say that you are an African American male that threatened my life. See, she already had it, but she just kind of like, a real racist? Oh, no. So I got this black guy right here, right now. He's threatening my life. They gonna go ahead and call. They're not gonna contrive, this scheme and then tell it to you. And this is what I'm. No, they're gonna be like, yo, get this N word out of here. He's trying to kill. They don't gotta plot it and think it, and they just gonna be like, yo, man, this black dude is here to threaten my life. They gonna call
Yeah.
911 off the jump. They're not gonna sit back and this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. I said, oh yeah. See, that she sounded like one of them. That sounded like something the liberal would do. You know what I'm saying? That's outright racist. They just gonna pick up the phone and call on you, like get them now.
Yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. Now you nailed that on the head.
Real.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. Oh, shout out to Kristen 199 super chat. Appreciate that. Phil, thank you. He said, my bro, Lunch Money Lewis is definitely down to talk to you at least 9 a.m. 9 Eastern. Just spoke to him. Make sure to tell him to get on your stream. Excited to watch the conversation. Oh yeah. That's right. I'm supposed to be debating this guy named Lunch Money Lewis at
Well, you
9.
debating, what you debating them on?
Lil Wayne's comments.
What Lil Wayne say?
Lil Wayne basically said, it's our fault that this stuff keeps happening to us. You can't get mad at all white people. You got to be real specific. What else did he say? Um, um, basically, the typical accountability and responsibility angle. And like, I'm not going to be going out here tweeting about shit and wearing shirts, and taking pictures with shirts and saying like I'm an activist. It's like he said, what are you going to do after this? Like after you tweet about this incident, after you protest, what do you do next? And I thought that was powerful.
Yeah. So, and I kind of always talk about the Jay-Z situation with Colin Kaepernick. Jay-Z, he sat back and he said, okay, after all that happened, he said, we moved past kneeling into more actionable items. And I
Right.
totally agree, right? What actionable items are we going to implement in order to get us to where we at? So, like I said, a lot of people don't see it as an alley-oop. See, the protesters, they get, you know what? I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you one of the most powerful stories that somebody told me. I was actually, so in my city, you got little young boys. They make little flowers out of what they call palmetto. They get a tree, they tear it down, chop it up, and they make the roses and they sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the little boys got beat up by a cop or whatever. Long story short, so I was like, "Yo, let me grab my bullhorn. We're going down to protest." So I always would protest, get in. I'm like cutting up, acting a fool. So brother pulled me aside, man. Brother in local politics, a politician. He pulled me aside. He said, "Man, you know what?" He said, "Brother, I admire you, so I'm gonna tell you this." I said, "What?" He said, "Every time you go out and protest," he said, "You know what happened?" I said, "What?" He said, "There's always a meeting in either city hall or some back room, and they say, you know what? These people are mad. So they bring in their people and they offer them money to have little studies that's done, racial reconciliation study, and they pay people $200,000 to come up with a plan, or they pay them $350,000 to do a study, and they give them this big money, and then they come out and say, you know what? We got a solution. We're bringing in a company to study race relations in the city, and we're going to have a summit or a conference or something like that. And all that did is just shut the activists up. So he said, bro, you got people getting paid off of you. Anytime you go out there and you speak with that bullhorn, all of a sudden somebody comes in and says, you know what? Well, we're going to create a citizens review board, and we're going to bring this company in to do an audit of the police department. They get their homeboy to do it. They get them $500,000. So now what they did is, you were protesting. They came in and said, okay, let's get my homeboy to do a racial audit of the police department. Now they go on the news, do a press conference and say, okay, we're going to have the results. It's going to be a 6-month study. We're going to bring the results back, and we're going to talk to the community and have an open discussion in a town hall meeting. So I just went out there and risked my life with the bullhorn. The white boys came in and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. In order for us to shut them up, we got to create a program that's going to take care of this problem. I'm going to pay my homeboy, and we're going to present it to the public. Bam. They just used me. Checkmate.
Yep. Happens every day.
Happens every day. So what people got to realize is that, what Lil Wayne got to realize too, what all of us got to realize is, I remember one time a wise friend of mine said, you always got to have the agitator and you got to have the negotiator. The agitator and the negotiator got to work hand in hand.
Yeah.
So when you agitating, somebody got to be in the back negotiating.
Yeah.
Because if you agitating and you're not negotiating, you're not at the table. So the decisions being made, the agitator gets left out. But you can't negotiate if you don't have an agitator, because power concedes nothing without a demand.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't have, a lot of times the only way when you come to the table that you can have your voice heard is if you say, you know what? If y'all don't concede to what we want, I got 600 people right now that are ready to burn this city down. And if I let these people go and they burn this city down, guess what? You're going to spend more money reconstructing this city than it would to do this right here that we're trying to do. So if you don't have the agitators and the negotiators, you got to have that fine mix. So protesting is a means of agitation. But then you got to have the negotiators to come in and sit down to the table. But they got to look out for the people who are on the front line agitating. So I think that's how our history has always been. Even if you look at it now with the reopen, with the protests, they agitating. The white people, they agitating. I'm not shutting my business down. Boom, they locking them up, putting pressure on the lawmakers. They're going down to Michigan with the guns. They saying we want revolution, we want a haircut. You know what I'm saying? They down there agitating, going to the Capitol, holding these rallies. They telling the law, and at the same time that they out here agitating, you got people going to Ted Cruz. We need to open up. You got people going to the governors. We need to open up. So what's happening is with the reopen situation, you have the agitators and then you have the negotiators. That's all it is, man.
Deep, powerful.
Shit.
Yo, this interview is going to be up on soundcloud.com/HOTEPJesus in a few days or so. Give us some time, my daughter, to get that up for your listening pleasure. This is a powerful interview. Definitely going to have to play this one back.
Right.
Everybody stay tuned. I'll be back in about a half hour. I'll be debating Lunch Money Lewis.
Right. I got to hear this, man.
On the comments made by Lil Wayne. So stay tuned.
Who I should put my money on real quick before you go? Who I need to put my money on, man?
Put your money on Hotep. You always bet on Hotep.